Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019 Women's Tour, episode number 20. This is going to be the final episode of the series. There's going to be a decent chance that it'll also be on the shorter side compared to a normal episode. Here's where we're at. Here's what we're doing as we wrap this up. It's the final day of July, and we have our sponsor signing period. Sponsor confidence has been maxed out this season, so we are in a good position there. Our current sponsor willing to give us $99,000 for next year. We have a Spanish or an Ethiopian sponsor as well with very, very similar numbers, though they have a higher maximum estimation. But based on where we're at and based on the riders I have, it would make perfect sense to stick with Floyd's Leadville. So there you go. We are set up on that front. And then we'll push forward one day, and this will be the last day in the series. The big thing, and let's go ahead and just quick sim this race. The big thing that we're going into for this final day is what can we do in terms of signing riders. Because I really do want to see where this series could possibly go if we were to carry it on. I mean, the whole thing was here to get from the very bottom and build to something, and we made progress from season 1 to season 2, but would we be stepping up significantly from season 2 to season 3? You can see our 2021 index already is 32nd. That's not that bad, our start point. So we'd be looking at, what am I looking at here? There we go. Canyon Shram, both Stolmans are on top of the current charts, but you can actually see like Rally UHC, really strong team this year that could be on their way up. And yeah, there we are, already now at a 1.5 stars, significantly better than where we were. Potentially Continental Pro going forward. We were a team with literally nothing when we started, and now here we are after just 1 year, 1.5 years, at a 1.5 stars. So with signings, what can we do? Well, let's take that moment before I get into those signings. And we'll see where we sit at the moment. All right, so 18 riders. We got to 2 stars this year. So 1.5 stars definitely not going to be enough. Half of the team going away, and yet we retain most of the power that we had. You can see still significantly weak, but retention-wise, still looking a little bit better. So Jastrap, Franz, both coming back. Malkova, Savage coming back. Kelly coming back. Doherty. So all the riders that we signed this year, Watabi, Buke, and Irud, all coming back. At this point, that means we would be losing what's remaining of the old guard. And that's not a bad thing considering how bad all or most of those riders were. There's a couple that we would want to get back. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the dossiers, and we'll start seeing how things fit in. First off, the riders we went after, we did get to a decent amount here for Rosario Caputo, who is a 73 average rider. Punchy mostly with 70, but it also looks like she'd be pretty good on classics. Rider out of San Marino, and her potential 5 to 8. I think that's a perfect place to begin our hunt. Now, at this point, you can see we already have 43,000 remaining in our budget, and we could definitely go over that budget and get away with it. So we're looking at a good 60,000 or more that we are able to spend. So let's see. She wants a lot, but if we could get her signed on, yes, absolute leader. Let's see what happens with roughly 20,000. We have some wiggle room. That's pretty low. So it's going to take quite a bit more. Oh, okay. It actually didn't take that big of an increase to get the salary into the happy zone. And look at the temporary improvement in team index. Jumps 10 places right off the bat. Now, that is almost half of the budget. But that was the best rider that was available out there, and we're able to pick her up right off the bat. Now, these other top riders don't have the interest. So even Ruth Winder, who would be a prime target, never did get into the okay, happy-ish zone. As a result, I think we're going to have to move down the list, and Emily Person is another one of those who has no job, is available, is a 70 overall, actually okay sprint, 68. Time trial is pretty decent too. Let's go ahead and check out your scouting report. Okay, there you go, another good rider. Let's see what we could do. As a Barrador, she might be a little more affordable. So here is our second target. And again, we have about 35 to 40,000 left, which is plenty of money. Okay, 3 years. I like leader. That's fine. Let's go ahead and boost that up already. Okay, not that bad of a start. Push that to 14. Okay, we're close. We have enough time, I think, to take this one step at a time. There you go, 15,000. That's, again, that's okay. That would boost us 6 spots. With the other one already boosting us up, I mean, we're looking at top 20 right now, meaning I think we could be headed to Continental Pro next season with really just these first couple of riders. Okay, we still have almost 20,000. I would like to hang on to Elizabeth Harden, so that's probably where, well, as we move down the list, realistically, it is exactly where we go to next. We know she doesn't have a ton of potential, but Harden, she's got some potential, and we're trying to break her out of just being Barrador, and she's more of a glorified domestique for us, but at just 18 years of age, she has developed some. She made one significant time trialing improvement this last season, stage racing improvement. She was at 4,500. Let's see if we can keep her close to that, because I really don't want to spend much money, and 6,000's not bad at all. She wants the role of absolute sprinter. Let's see what that brings us. Okay, she does not like the role or the salary. I'm okay with absolutely, especially at this point. What am I losing? See, that's one downside to knowing that you're wrapping things up, is it's quite easy to exaggerate the role because you don't actually have to worry about what's going to happen. And there you go, for just 6,500, small increase on what she's making now, just 2,000 more. We go ahead and get Elizabeth Harden re-signed. She was absolutely our team leader in the first year. More of a strong domestique support rider this season. But as she's still got a decent chance to develop a fair bit, she is certainly one of our better riders, and does assist us with maintaining, anyway, our team index. It does appear, though, that Caputo and Person might be the only ones that are actually improving the profile for us. That does now put us into, well, let's see, where are we at? 40, 47, 48 now. We've still got about 12K to play with, and that's not bad. That's 3 riders that are signed on, so that brings us to 12. I don't need 9. We were too large. 12 riders isn't a terrible number. You kind of want to have enough to do 2 squads, so maybe 16, 15, maybe even 14 is ideal. So we're looking for 2 to 4 additional riders and then probably calling it quits at that point. Now, at the list we have Zeglin, Victoria Zeglin. Let's go ahead and see. Not much potential and just a Barador. However, again, if she is cheap, the good flat rating can really help us out. Another good downhill. This is definitely glorified domestique. Likes cold temperatures. Interesting. Still one of the better options out there. It's only 1 point to talk to her, so let's see what kind of money she's looking for. 6 grand. Yeah. But teammate, if she takes that kind of role. Okay, not happy with the role of teammate, but how about luxury teammate and slightly more? Okay, big jump. The role's okay now. I'm not going to push this much harder or further. Again, glorified teammate kind of thing is not going to do too much for us, especially with the lower potential. And no, we do not get Zeglin signed. I'm okay with that. Okay, we got nowhere here, even if it was just a couple weeks ago that we added them to the list. But here we are, from 0 to 100%. Valerie Stolkers out of Latvia, 21-year-old climber without a team currently, and to me that could be one of our top riders. Potential's not great, but again, would impact our squad instantly. So I think absolutely worth it to go for this rider. 3 years. You want the role of sprinter. I'm going to already bump you to leader. And we'll bump you up a little bit in the pay scale. And bam, there it is. Signed on right off the bat. Okay, that's 9,000. So we've got, what, 10 still to play with? And we're looking for 1 to 3 additional riders. One big weakness we have is our American riders that we have. So I think our next place to go would be Kendall Ryan. Even though it's another Barador. Decent time trial. And I think we would have to, or Florian. We could go in this direction. A little bit cheaper. Probably easier to sign, less money involved. But let's start with Kendall Ryan and see what it costs. No potential, maybe not. How about Florian? Potential's a little bit better and younger. Let's start here. Probably won't cost as much. Could be minimum. Could be minimum. I do like that. Let's go for it. Almost. Okay. Yeah, 3,000. Well worth it. And there it is, Florian. Sweet. Okay, that's an additional Brookshire and Youngworth to maintain our American roots. Keep the sponsor happy. Again, yes, we're coming to an end on the series, but playing theoreticals here. You want to be a leader? You're not a leader. Let's go important rider. Give that a shot. Try 3,000. And there you go. Re-signed. Youngworth. A little bit of potential, so we'll give that a shot. Sprinter, 3 years. Let's see what happens. That's enough to re-sign Youngworth at minimum. So good. Now we'll give Kendall Ryan a shot. Yeah, see, 7,000 with no potential. just a Barrador. It might not be worth it, but let's contact her. It's only 2 points to see what kind of money. 3,600. That's what we're talking about. We'll try just 2 years here. Not a leader. You would be an important writer. Okay, 4,100. 46. Do I really want to go to the edge of our budget? Not yet. Not yet. We're not going to make that final offer to Kendall Ryan at this moment in time. What else did we have for American Writer? We do have 2 here. Lexi Millard. Again with the Barrador, but can climb a little bit. The Jennifer Maxwell. Let's see, though, kind of what we're looking at on potential for any of these 3 riders. Okay, 1 to 2, 2 to 5, and Valente 2 to 4. Okay, Maxwell has the best potential, has the interest. Would probably sign for almost nothing. This would be another domestique, but it would be about sponsor happiness. Okay, not happy with the role. Whatever. There you go. Signed for the minimum. All right, let's do this. We're going to confirm all of these writers. So, by the way, as I'm doing this, PCM20 is out. That's the reason for the end of this series. And if you liked what was going on here, if you like the premise of taking a team from the very bottom, a team that really struggles, try to build them up, well, I've even taken that to a whole nother level in my PCM20 standard career mode. I've literally taken the worst 10 riders that I could get my hand on and made them from 10 separate countries. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already, as it's actually, first episode has done quite well for that series, as well as the second and third episodes, meaning a really good audience retention on that, and with some nifty computer upgrades that I have just concluded. Quality of the videos should be significantly better than what they were prior, and I think that'll definitely help things out. Now, it's still the 1st of August. I need to go ahead and push forward 1 day, just so we can kind of see the update of things. Still haven't pushed forward a day. Let's get to it. There we go. Now, nobody else has signed anyone yet, okay? This is not holding. But we're 2.5 stars now. 2.5. So, this last year we were at 2 stars. We're going to push to 2.5 now. And 2.5 could be, I mean, we just made it to 2.5. This could be enough to get into Continental Pro. I mean, it's 44 spots down. We're at 19th right now. We've got 25 spots in the standings to play with. There's going to be a lot of improvement out there as the other teams sign riders. This might not be enough to get us into Continental Pro. What it will definitely be enough to do, though, is to make us a lot more competitive. A lot more competitive to what we've been. We still have ongoing negotiations with Kendall Ryan, but again, I don't want to spend that kind of money for someone with literally no potential. That's a Barrador already and only. So what we have is 3 renewals in Hardin, Brookshire, and Youngworth, and 5 new riders coming in Caputo, Person, Stulsers, Yan, and Maxwell, and the minimum is a 65. So this is a big step up, where we had all these low 50s or high 50s and low 60s before. We still have our 3 domestiques who were all high 50s, but now all at 60. And you could really see the upward trajectory of this team. We went from a single Berador who was, a 66, 67 when she started with us, now at a 69, getting more well-rounded than where she was previously. And then, of course, we've added 2 strong riders a year ago in Jastrab and Franz. But now we match that with Stolkers, and we exceed everything we have on the team currently with Person and Caputo. And look, Person, this is how far we've come in 1 year. We are paying Person less than Jastrab. Less than. And Jastrab, I don't think, was a 69 when we signed her on, right? Evolution, yeah, hasn't changed this year, actually, at all. Did it change? See, there you go. It did change. But this is... We signed her August, right here. So yes, she did improve in the off-season. So she was a 65, right? Average is up here. Where is your average? Which one is your average? Okay. So she's almost to a 70 now. It looks like she's like a 69.8 or something like that. But it has gone up from a 68. So she was a 68 when we signed her, entered the team as a 69 average, and now we come in with a 71, right? 3 stars better and signed for less. That's big. Now, Sparador, they get paid a little less, so okay, fine. There's a good argument to be had there. But time trial 69, sprint 68, acceleration 69. That's good stamina too. That's going to be a real big boost. Jastrab's still our top sprinter, but real big improvement. This, though, is the real steal. A 73 average first team rider who's a 75 on the flat, 70 on the hills, good time trial, great cobble rating. That is by far the best rider that we've seen come through and has incredible potential. This is a rider we would want to keep on the team. So Rosario Caputo, the San Marino rider who is going to lead this team into the next generation. You can see just how big of an improvement she made from, a 70 where she came in at. She first appeared last year. Look at that. She was a 67 and now a 73 just over a year later. And at the rate that she has leveled up, and leveled up, you would suspect that she might level up again before the beginning of the year. Or, maybe by February or March, but it's bound to be coming again soon if you take this trajectory as an indicator. And with a 5 to 8 potential, you would take that as a decent indicator. I would, certainly. I think, especially if she does level up before the start of the year, you would go, yeah, we're headed to Continental Pro. So, the progress is there. The signs are encouraging. I think we'd be in good shape next season. This is a very different team than we had Season 1. And realistically, it's a pretty different team from Season 2. Season 2, we've been so much more competitive than where we were Season 1. And, looking at the rankings as a team. We're 8th in the Continental rankings this season, with a very bottom end just kind of making it squad. And while the Super Prestige, it's not fantastic down in 36th, 36th is enough to be considered Continental Pro. There's a World Tour team 2 spots below us. There's a World Tour team 5 spots ahead of us. So in terms of our scoring rate, we're very much a team that belongs in Continental Pro. And you add this little bit more talent, and especially a big step up with Caputo, I think it's going to be enough to get us there. And while we still would not be a dominant team, and I still think we'd be a couple seasons away from possibly getting into the World Tour ranks, I think we are finally at that point where we're able to kind of hit the ground running next season. So really happy with pretty rapid progress from relative obscurity to, at the very least, a continental powerhouse, or more likely probably going to be a middling Continental Pro team next season. Unfortunately, with the release of a PCM20, that does mean the end of this series, but fortunately, there's some really exciting things happening with PCM20. The update list, when I first saw it, I was a little disappointed. But as I've gotten a chance to play it, although some of the things are pretty minor in terms of quantity, the quality of those upgrades are quite noticeable in the game. So really excited by what's going on there. And like I said, be sure to check that out. I've also got my Pro Cyclist mode for PCM20, and between the two, it is 7 days per week content going back and forth on the career mode 4 days a week, Pro Cyclist mode 3 days a week, with the career coming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Pro Cyclist on those opposite days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for checking this series out. I do think that the women's tour and women's sport in general is still a under-recognized avenue of sport, and deserves much, much more attention than it receives, especially in the gaming community, right, where there's essentially nothing. Right, even the sports channels are really starting to pick it up and get some recognition and air content related to female sports. I know in town where I'm from, the Portland Thorns, the women's soccer team, with multiple championships in the young league that we have, they're the only multi-championship winner in just the 7 years or so since the league formed. They're almost more popular than the men's team. They almost put as many butts in the seats as they do on the men's team. And they are, at least as of about a year ago, last time I checked, and obviously everything's been on hold this year with coronavirus, but they are the most well-supported women's soccer team on the planet by more than twice the average attendance of the second best team, which is Orlando. So that is very encouraging, and I've been to quite a few of their games. I'd love to see women's sports in general really start to get the recognition that it deserves. But I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.